So today we have got a little Peugeot RCZ. Now I think these are kind of a cool little car, and what we're going to be doing to it is a bit of a service. First thing we're going to do is jump in the car and make sure all the instrumentation is working correctly. Now I'm sat in the car. What I like to do is turn the radio off to start with because it does me head in. Pump the brake pedal up, and we're going to be checking the operation of the brake servo. And while we're going through all the checks of the instrumentation, make sure we've got no warning lights on the dashboard. We've got the launch out and we're doing a full system health scan and just making sure that everything is in tip-top condition. Now we've finished inside the vehicle, we need to walk outside, make sure all your lights are on, give them a good check, and you're walking around the vehicle and making sure that nothing's falling off the vehicle, making sure everything's nice and secure. Now let's make a start on the engine. Pull the dipstick back off the oil filler cap, remove this little bit of a baffle here for the intake, and the oil filter is just located underneath that pipe there, and then we can send the vehicle up in the air. Now we've got the vehicle fully raised, we've removed the sun plug and we're draining the oil into a lovely little receptacle. Now while we're waiting for the oil to drain out, we're going to go around all the underneath the vehicle, steering components, check all the rubber boot gaiters, give everything a nice little wobble rooney. We're going to make our way around to the back of the vehicle, checking all the under trays, making sure everything is in a good condition. And also as we work our way back down the front, we're just going to be checking the exhaust system at the same time. Once we've finished underneath the vehicle and we're still waiting for the oil to be drained out of it, what we're going to be doing is checking the condition of the tyres, making sure we've got no splits in the sidewall, no bulges. Lock it over, and we can also check the tyre tread depth for cracks or nails or punctures. Give the steering now a bit of a shake side to side, up and down, checking the plate, and you also want to be checking the condition of the road spring and the shock absorber as well. Once I've got all the wheels removed off all four corners of the vehicle, we can have a closer inspection of the brakes, the flexible hoses, all the ABS wires, make sure everything's clipped in nice and correctly. Have a closer inspection of all the steering rack gaiters and rubber bushes on all the suspension components. Now this customer was complaining of a shake through his bum, and he's just had a wheel refurb, and as you can see the wheels have been balanced. What we're going to do, get the wheels spun up and see how far they are out. There we go, there's your wobble. Let's get it balanced up. And there you go, that is the wheel all balanced up. What I've done, with them being a black wheel, we've taken the horrible silver weights off and we put the black ones on. It looks so much better. Now before we put the wheels back on this vehicle, we do need to carry out a brake fluid change because I've checked the brake fluid and the water content was high. And we're going to be using the launch for brake 1. And because it's French, the master cylinder is on the passenger side and we need to start on the driver's side rear to start with. And that is one brake fluid change. It has gone from that colour, dirty and contaminating the water content, to nice and clear. Anyway, let's get all these wheels put back on. Now we've got all the wheels back on, we can raise the vehicle, put a new sun plug in, and we can jump onto auto data, and it tells us all the torque settings that we need to use. Once the vehicle's back down to working height, we can now get the finest glug in it, get some oil in it. Once you're finished with the oil and you've put the oil filter in, we can now move around to the spark plugs. Pull your coil packs out and put them in order as you're taking them out. Now you can always tell how a car's performing and whether it's running right by the tips of the spark plug, and that is running absolutely perfect. Now let's get the new ones in. What you don't want to be doing is just dropping them in because you can damage the tips. What I like to do is use a special little tool, put them in and start them by hand, and that tool will come off. And we can get them torqued up to 23 Newton meters. Then we've got the air filter, which is located at the back of the engine. There's 3 T25s at the front. You just need to remove this intake pipe with a Jubilee clip there, just enough to get that cover off. Then we can put it back in and get it all nice and secured. Once we've finished servicing the engine, alternator belt's been checked, power steering fluid, screen wash and the coolant has already been checked. It's safe to about -20. We're going to be replacing the pollen filter, which is located to the left hand side of the engine over there. And look at the state of it. It's absolutely minging. I'm saying that that's going to be in there, well, from the factory. So right, let's get this brand new one fitted. Finally, when you've finished everything now, get on the ignition, put your finger on the 000 on the reset on the trip, and turn the ignition on, and that will then reset the service light for you. It's very simple to do on these. And last but not least, what we're doing, taking the car for a bit of a test drive, making sure that we've got no rattles, clunks, clutch is okay, and the brakes are performing and they're pulling nice and square as they should do. Anyway, let's get back to the workshop. And there we go, now we're back at the yard, and that is how I carry out a full service on a Peugeot RCZ. Anyway, let's get it sent.